Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Pyre. You're here with Reynold Lefebvre, otherwise known as DraxxKraven, when he's got sick voice. I'm no longer ill, but my throat is still a little ravaged by the throes of illness. Still, we will now listen to the words of Haub the Swallow, the Accursed, as he speaks to us of the 9 triumvirates. At first I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill, but the horned one Myr implored me. He said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return for all I had given him. In return for what? I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did, he said. We fight about this still. Myr is stubborn, more so than I. Now herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the 9 triumvirates, for I am of this land, unlike the rest who wish to leave. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus did we organize those striving for the chance into the 9 sets of 3. The Accusers, formed under Golothian. He is a big man. He values justice, loyalty, steadfastness. Golothian, he says that the Accusers take their name from one of his most accomplished legions, from his former military days. All among them, in fact, served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who hold true to Myr and Golothian to the end. The golden colors of their raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armor. In his claim, ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and the strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. It appears that the Accusers have fallen on hard times. Lendl does not at all seem to support what they are meant to be about. The Fate, united under many Mane, the Alpha Chief. He is brash, but follows his traditions. He prizes faith, discipline, and honor. Qualities he seems to lack at first glance. He formed the Fate under the precepts of old bylaws of his 4-legged ancestors. They believed in a certain natural order in the way of things. Many Mane wanted for the Fate to likewise to show that respect. Initially, he only chose from other curs. He, however, urged the Fate to replenish their numbers from any race or ethnic group thus willing. Thus shall they anticipate what is to come, with open eyes and minds, and never frown upon what is in store for them. And I would say that Dalbert is a fantastic heir to many Mane. The Dissidents. I, myself, Haub, did form the Dissidents, under this simple tenet: those who do not belong, belong. The other scribes, some of them showed at first reluctance to allow an imp, and one accursed, to designate one of the 9 triumvirates, but Myr, the horned one, stubborn as he was, stood by my side. In time, they came to understand, for I remained, as ever, at their side, a living bit of proof of their absurdity. The Dissidents are an extension of my oddity. Those who do not adhere, they are not to be discarded, underestimated, or dismissed. They are as necessary as those against whom they rebel. It seems like Barker is using the Dissidents poorly. It's an all-cur triumvirate. That's... You'd expect a triumvirate that accepts anyone would be a little bit more diverse, but instead it seems like it's like Barker's fan club. The Withdrawn did spawn forth from the wild witch Melith, in whose vigilant pursuit of the unknown and unknowable I always felt a certain kinship. Whether the Withdrawn were Melith's kin by blood or merely worshippers, we trusted one another not to ask or care. What mattered was that Melith chose the most audacious minds who stopped at nothing short of the impossible. Though ever distant, the Withdrawn revealed to us such truths about the land which long lay hidden, even to one such as I. Their knowledge ever waking into newfound depths of consciousness, they led us all to better know ourselves. Well, Melith is, not wrong. Chasing down an Eldritch Titan and trying to raise it from the dead? That is certainly going after the ever-distant truths. Maybe you're chasing a little too hard. The Pyre hearts all follow in the path forged by the Underking Ores, whose many mighty deeds exceed the smallest stature that somehow contained him. He is the most spirited triumvirate, their courage unfaltering, their hearts full. They live always with vigor, and perhaps they die with it as well. They are the Underking's own kind, as at home above the sea as in it, never ceasing, ever longing, as they do for something more. The Underking chose wisely for these qualities, and teaches that a life devoid of passion is a life devoid of life itself. That burning passion is the fuel that drives the Pyre hearts, and in turn, us all. Yeah, Sir Deluge does not seem to stand up to the Pyre heart standards very well. The Essence. The winged members of the Essence, each chosen by the matriarch Triesta Tithys, are living exemplars of liberty and piety. Would that my wings could be thus! Once, you, of course, must know, we all had wings. It is said the people of the Empire relinquished theirs, drawn in by earthly matters as they were. But the harps, such as Triesta, held tight the liberty their plumage could afford. These divergent paths did cause a share of differences between the winged and wingless over time. But here in this land, our purposes are shared. Our goals are united. That, then, is the Essence. That is who they are, and what, and why. Tamitha seems to be guided only by rage, fury, and the urge for revenge. I guess she's not fighting for liberty. She's fighting for her bruised pride. Liberty's just a pretense to her. I think Triesta would be disappointed. The Chastity. Those bearing the name the Chastity all count themselves disciples of Luce Glorian, the 100 Minds, known firstly for his wisdom, but also cherished for his modesty, integrity, and kinship. Sglorian's priority, in forming his triumvirate, was to instill in all his subjects a deep-seated deference and respect for the rules governing the liberation cycle. The cycle of the rites needs to be respected, to be understood. It needs to be understood to be respected, Sglorian would say. Thus the Chastity are emissaries of the cycle. Should they earn back their liberty, then they shall spread enlightenment itself, and all of us shall grow in turn. The Tempers. Myr, the Horned One, formed the Tempers upon his own ideals. Ingrained in this triumvirate are basic truths about the dual roles of strength and gentleness. The Horned One, he had a dualistic nature, for as long as he and I considered each a friend. The stories I am told about Myr's youth describe no one I know. All of us are capable of more. I once was an imp that could not write. Myr was once a man that could not think. The Tempers were once ordinary folk. Now they rise to greatness, always striving, never overreaching. They are not like Myr himself. Rather, they are what Myr wished he could be. The Nightwings. What is a life without an adversary? If not for forces that conspire against the will, life would be devoid of its innateness, the desire to overcome. Thus, when we the Eight at last each fashioned a triumvirate based on our own ideals, we realized a void still needed to be filled, as the night sky needs moonlight. We Eight were united. Our triumvirates shared our affection. They needed us to set them all against a common foe. Thus did we form the Nightwings, a triumvirate envisioned to exceed them all, both through means mortal and divine, and give an undue favor in each turning of the cycle. They are the adversary we all face. Are we the final boss? Are we the final boss? The Beyonders. To call the Beyonders a triumvirate is to stain the others' efforts, yet I am beholden to describe them here. A pack of bandits. Bandits, loosely organized under the Sisters of the Arch. They traveled all this way into my land to take the Horned One's life, to kill my friend Myr. We thwarted them. We had them at our mercy. Mercy had become imperative to Myr. We spared their lives, but banished them to the darkness, far beyond these lands. Now and forever, the Beyonders cling to a beholden duty to confront the true triumvirates, whenever they so choose, so that whenever the true triumvirates clash, it shall be to them to their fullest extent. And that is the Book of Ha'ul.